Pretty Women Hustle. I am so glad you're here joining me for our very special series dedicated to the journey of becoming an author. In this series, we will discuss the process of becoming an entrepreneur from beginning to end. If you are new here, I am Jakia Cheatham Miles, the founder and creator of Pretty Woman Hustle, a platform dedicated to highlighting and promoting women doing extraordinary things in business and in faith. Today we have Tia. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. In your last name Harrell, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. I'm like, I love how you spelled it, the Teeha. That is so beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She started writing poetry at an early age. She transitioned to writing fiction novels and debuted the first book in the romance series, This Love is Real, on Kindle Vella. Since then, she has published 9 more books and released 2 new Kindle Vella series, Stranger in the Mirror and Ed Jones Chronicles. Besides fulfilling her lifelong dream of writing, Tia uses her analytical and creative skills to solve IT problems full time for a well known retailer. She has worked in IT for over 2 decades and holds advanced degrees in business and information systems. She currently resides in Dublin, California, with her husband of 20 years. So, y'all, we are so excited. Tonight, we are live and we're discussing all things entrepreneurship. If you've ever had a thought of writing a book and sharing your story, this episode is for you. Tia is dropping gems all night. So, we're ready. All right. Her pathway, okay, towards forgiveness follows the lives of CJ and Ann, who met when they were 15 and 14 years old at summer camp. The two were swiftly separated when Ann returned home and her image obsessed parents learned that she was pregnant. At 14 years old and with no support from her parents, Ann's sister Michelle and her husband adopted the baby. Terry and Ann took in Ann. For years, they went on this way and as a happy little family until tragedy struck, and only Ann and Terry were left. Ann couldn't find it within herself in Terry's time of need to be there for her. Thus, their relationship was destroyed. Meanwhile, CJ grew up unaware of his child and eventually became a successful musician, thinking he'd reached all his goals. That is until one day he till one day when he runs into a model at an event that reminds him of his grandmother and a long lost friend. Can a family broken apart by secrets find a way to come together again? Okay, teaser. I love that. I
Thank
love
you.
that. Yes. First things first.
Okay.
How do we develop the interest in writing? What happened?
Well, I always wanted to write, but the writing came from poetry when I was younger. My mom died when I was 14 years old. So the life I knew it kind of ended. And so I had to my father was, he was going through grief and I didn't understand that at the time. So he wasn't really supporting me. So I just went down a black hole and I didn't have anybody to talk to, so I started writing my thoughts and feelings down. And then when I started to read it, it was poetry. It rhymed, made sense, and so since then, every now and then I'll start writing poetry. And that's how I got writing, right? For emotional healing. So even today, I write for an emotional healing. When I write, I can write either my feelings down or I can write about characters that maybe go through something that I went through. And so that's that's why I write. And I love it. It's my passion. So I absolutely love writing.
Being able to do what you love is a gift. So that's amazing. When did you realize, like, you know what? I have a story that the world needs to hear?
I never really realized that until I started talking to other people. When I started writing, "This Love Is Real," it was during COVID, but my granny died of cancer, and so I was in school to gain my doctorate. So I was writing my dissertation. I had already written my first chapter. But when my granny died and COVID hit and the world turned upside down, I lost all drive. So I didn't care about academia anymore. I was grieving from my granny, and so I dreamt about characters, and I just got up one day and started writing. I wrote their story within a weekend, 50,000 words, to characters, and I didn't know. I think. Me sharing my story is love. Love can heal. Love heals all wounds. My mother and father died when I was young. My mother died when I was 14. My father died when I was 21. And so, having that family and structure, you can get it anywhere. And so, I married when I was 27. I've been married for over 20 years, and I found a home with my husband's family, and his granny became my granny, his mom became my mom. And so building a family doesn't have to be your blood relatives, but with my books I talk about true love. True love is real. Like, true love is unconditional. So that's what all my stories talk about. This love is real. That's what it talks about. You can love. Unconditional love is unconditional. There shouldn't be any conditional conditions on your love, and it's pure. You can love anybody. You can love your brother, your friend, your cousin, anybody around you. But my characters, Sonia and Terry, they had love at first sight, something that hit them when you see a person and it's a kinship, it's a soulmate. So that's what I wrote about their story. But the story is, love heals or can heal all wounds. I think if we spread love, the world would be a better place. It's better to love than to hate.
Yes, it's better to love than to hate. I love that. What was the writing process like? Did you come up with your title first and build
Hmm.
around it, or did the
Hmm.
manuscript come first? How did that happen?
I think the manuscript came first because I just started writing. But originally, the journey was about one person. And the book was going to be called Terry's Journey. But then I thought about it and thought about the message behind it, and that's where I came with "This Love Is Real." And "This Love Is Real" is actually my flagship platform because that's what I'm building my brand around. This love is real. I even have a theme song that I wrote.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait to hear that. What is okay? So the message behind your title, you talked about it a little bit. You said it's all about love, unconditional
Right.
love, and being able to
Unconditional
share
love.
love with the world, and that it would be a better
Yes.
place if everybody could just share that.
Yes.
Can you share three takeaways you would like women specifically to take away from your book?
Women, true love is real. Don't settle for anything other than true love. If somebody gives you conditions on your love, it's not true love. You know, Surround yourself with people who support you and love you. Do Follow your dream. You're never too old. There's going to be a lot of naysayers. There's going to be a lot of negative comments. That's noise. Don't listen to the noise. Just focus on people around you. Focus on your dreams. you know make yourself happy. Nobody can make you happy. Find your happy place. I also believe in self-love and self-care. So that's what I want them to take away from my books. Real love. This love is real. Conditional love, stay away from it. And build you a team. Build you a team that you trust. So in my books, the characters have teams around them, parents and teams. So they have teams that they trust, and it becomes their family. So you can build your own family. It doesn't have to be blood relatives. So if you don't have any family, build you one.
Yes, build you a family. At any moment during your writing process, did you experience writer's block? What tips do you have for overcoming it if you did?
No, I've been fortunate enough to not. suffer from writer's block, but I think it's the way that I write. When I write, I generally read what I wrote. So say I'm writing chapters, I read the last chapter that I wrote. For my episodes, I read the last episode that I wrote. If you do get writer's block, just think of how you can change the story, how you can impact your main character. There's always cause and effect, impact, results. Think about how you can change one of your characters. So that's how you can combat writer's block.
Great tip. Take me through the first moment that you saw your books like listed. You're like, hey, that's really me. Like people can access my work now. What was that moment like?
That moment was unbelievable. It was my dreams coming true. Just to be able to go on Amazon and see your books listed there, that's digital real estate. Anybody can access those books, and my voice is out there. My creativity is out there, and nothing can ever compare to seeing your books up on Amazon or doing a Google search on your pen name, and all your stuff comes up. It's an amazing feeling. And nobody can take that away from you. So it's amazing.
Yes, it is an amazing feeling. I love that. When would you say, or what would you say was the most challenging part of this whole process of writing your
I,
work?
I think time. Since I work full time, being able to be creative is very difficult. So a lot of times I'm burning the candle at both ends. I work a full time job. I'm local IT, so we were very needed during COVID. So I was really hands on at work. So dealing with stuff at work and then trying to come home and be creative. They're two different hats, and so it's kind of hard to get into the writing zone after you come home from work. So I usually write during the weekend. So it's a balancing act. So I think time, and then access to tools, knowing being a new author, you don't know anything, so you don't know you don't know the rules, you don't know about the funnels, you don't know about social media, you don't know about doing interviews, you don't know about getting exposure. So it takes a while to kind of get your groove.
Definitely. What key tips do you have for marketing your book and getting it out to the masses?
uh get help.
You said get help. Get
Yeah,
assistance.
yeah, definitely. But you gotta get on social media. Pick pick a platform or two that you can handle. You can't be on every one of them. There's no way you can keep up. So pick one or two that you can handle, and then just start posting your content. You got to stay current. You got to stay, keep feeding your audience, keep feeding your readers, because you never want to get to the back of their mind. You always want to be front and center. You always want to, even if you can't put out content, put out books a lot. Build your content around your characters, or do interviews like this one, or try to get as much exposure as you can. I have Facebook, Instagram, I have YouTube, I have my website. So I've tried a lot of different things. So definitely getting you a team though. Getting you, pay somebody who knows what they're doing. If you
A team is
can, if you
essential.
can. Yeah, a team is essential. Absolutely.
Yes. What audience would you say your books are written for?
My books are written for anybody who wants to read about love, anybody who we want to read about overcoming tragedy with love, learning about true love, learning about self care. Your mental wellness is very important. So I talk about that in my books as well. If you're going through something, find your healing source. You can go to therapy. You can write, you can listen to music, you can work out, you can run, you can look at the water or whatever you do. Make sure you take care of yourself. Self healing is very important. Mental wellness is very important.
Yes, very important. How are you currently? I know you using social media. I know earlier you said that find a platform, find a one or two that works for you. So how
Mhm.
are you specifically using social media as a writer?
I'm using social media get to get the word out, get my books out. I do chats with my beta readers, so I do videos and post them on Facebook. I can't Instagram. You only got a little videos that you can put up there. So on especially on Facebook, I have an authors page where I post all the time videos, information about my characters, information about books that are coming up. And I also on Facebook have joined some author communities, and they really help. Learning from other authors or speaking with other authors has really made the difference in my writing journey.
Excellent, excellent. Share with us people or companies that help create your amazing projects. Who is your go-to?
For my go-to for my website and my trailers, um, it was the Cutting Edge Solutions. They're amazing. They do my trailers. They still do my website. They make updates to my website. Um, I went to some schools like the self publishing school. I went to the Romance Academy to just learn how to write romance, learn about the different acts and the different plots, and learning the right form of writing. I went to a couple of other schools just to learn about writing. I have a beta reader, Donna Williams. We go back and forth about my characters, about my books, and she meeting her is amazing because just seeing somebody who loves your work almost as much as you do is amazing. And I also have my art team. They email me and tell me about what they like about the books or ask me questions, and I always reply to my readers. But having those readers is amazing. They show you that if nobody else likes your work, at least you got a few people who love your work.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
Being able to have people that are in your circle.
yeah.
Tell us 5 misconceptions people have about becoming an author that you've heard.
Being an author is a business. It is a business. So you got to invest, you got to promote, you got to spend your time. Um, you know, Listening to negative comments, like if you have something to tell the world, tell it. No matter if somebody tells you you're not good enough, you are good enough. Your story can help other people. Go ahead and tell your story. um Not investing in your business, right? Being able to be an author without spending any money, it ain't gonna happen. So you definitely have to invest in yourself. Um, Being an author is hard, right? You have to hustle. You have to be a hustler in order to be an author. Writing is not going to cut it. If you want to be a writer, go ahead and write. But being a writer is different than being an author. Being a writer, you can write and write and write, but being an author is actually putting your work out there. Even if you don't get paid for it, you're still an author. If you've published your book, you're an author, period. So just because you only made 50 cents, you're still an author. How many was that?
That's good, but I love that.
Okay.
You're still an author, period. I love that.
Yeah.
Where do you hope to see your book next?
I'm aiming for Netflix. I'm aiming for a streaming service that'll stream my characters. I built a platform. This Love is Real with all my characters through my books and through my Kindle Villa. I have a new episode coming up called Dark Cloud. that has all of my characters from the This Love Is Real platform. So that's where that's the goal. That's the goal, to get a series or a web series for my characters for my
I
platform.
love that. I love that. That's going to happen. If you could go through the process all over again, is there
Mhm.
anything you would do differently?
Not spend so much time, not spend so much money in schools. Find find a program that works for you. Like all the schools that I went to were great, but finding a school that catered to, my particular wants and my particular audience and my particular books, finding that first would have been great. But I mean, I wouldn't really change anything, because that's what got me here, where I am. Learning from mistakes, learning what not to do. Spending a ton of cash on things I shouldn't have. Learning the ropes. You got to put in the time to learn. So
I love that. I love that. At least you're transparent and honest. So I appreciate that. Um, you are incredible at what you're doing. And I
thank
love
you.
that. I love that you're putting yourself out there. I love that you're creating this amazing platform, sharing your episodes and sharing love with the world, which is amazing. For those of you who do not know, Teeha is, of course, a pretty woman who hustles. She is a part of our family. We love her. You can find her every single month in our magazine, sharing her new work and things like that. She is a ride or die pretty woman hustle lady. So we love her.
Thank you.
What's next for you? Like, what do you have coming up besides the your new series? When can we expect that?
The first book to the Dark Cloud series is coming out August the 27th. On
Soon?
that, yeah, it's coming out soon. And on that day, I'm going to be speaking with my beta reader about the book. So I have a couple of chats that I do with her once a month, and we talk about my books, talk about what's coming up, and we differ in who our favorite characters are. So, so it's a pretty lively conversation. So I'm excited to release my book and talk about that new book in the series with her on August 27th.
Well, we're excited. We cannot wait to share. If you would like to support Teeha, we want you to head on over to Amazon. Go to her website. Share your website, Teeha.
tmhwriter.com.
Awesome. We will definitely put it in the description. Go connect. Go follow her on social media. She does episodes. She shares her thoughts. She gives you updates on the characters and the development. So you really get to take that ride with her. So we thank you for joining us tonight. We will see you all, Pretty Woman Hustle family, on the next author chat. But until then, stay updated. Go read the magazine. We have another one coming out in 2 days. So make sure you connect and tell us that you saw Teeha's ad in there.
Thank you.
Thank you.